If you've been wondering how to create custom graphics for your blog posts so that you can use them for either your blog post featured image or maybe for your social media sharing images for Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, all of that, then you have made it to the right video. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I'm Mariah from MariahMagazine.com, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you guys through how to create custom blog post graphics. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to kind of figure out what pixels, what dimensions you're going to need to create, because it does depend on what you're actually using them for. And then I'm also going to walk you through just like some tips on how to choose a template, and then also how to customize those templates so that it matches your brand and your website. All right, let's get started. So the graphic design software that I'm going to walk you guys through in this tutorial is going to be Canva. And the reason why is because Canva has a free account and it's pretty easy to use. They have a lot of templates for you to choose from. Okay, so the version that you are seeing right now is the pro version. I pay for the pro version. I don't think that I'm going to be showing you guys anything where you're going to need the pro version, so you should be able to do all of this using the free version on Canva. Okay, so just head over to canva.com, sign up for a free account if you don't already have one. After you sign up, you will be taken to something that looks like this. This is like your home dashboard here. So there's two ways to go ahead and to get started. So we can either search for a template right here, or we can create a fresh design. Okay, so this fresh design will literally be just like a blank canvas for you to go ahead and design your thing. So we're just going to type blog post in here to pull up all of the template options. Now, as you can see, all of these blog post template graphics, notice that they're different sizes. Okay, so we have a vertical size here, we have a horizontal size here, we have a square here. So this might get a little confusing, but blog post graphics, the size that you'll need is going to depend on where you're going to be using this blog post graphic. So the square version right here, this is really great for Instagram. This vertical version right here is really great for Pinterest. And this horizontal version here is really great for creating like social sharing graphics for Facebook, for Twitter, and those other social media platforms like that. The other thing that's going to come into play is if you're going to be using these blog post graphics for your featured image on your website, like on your blog archive page. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys just some quick examples. So my website is on WordPress. I use the vertical option here because I like to just create one featured image and then also use it for Pinterest because I use Pinterest as a way to drive traffic to my blog posts. But I had to create a like custom blog archive page in Pinterest in order to get them to show up like this. This version right here, this is the native blog post archive that came with my website theme. Okay, so notice that the ratios are a little bit different. Honestly, that's not make or break for me. I just wanted to point it out. And I also just wanted to show you guys, if you Google WordPress featured image size, it gives you the pixels and the dimensions right here. So if you guys are wondering, oh gosh, I don't know what my website theme uses, I would start with this one. Also, you might be able to go back in your WordPress themes and be able to see exactly what the featured image size is specifically. And then for Squarespace, I'm just showing you guys like an example from my actual podcast website. So when we created the blog page, this is just a section that we added. And in this section on Squarespace, we get to choose what ratio we want to show here. So we decided for this one to do the square image because we also wanted to use these for Instagram. You see, so like depending on the platform that you're using or depending on how you're going to be using these blog post graphics, that's going to depend on which like ratio, which size template you're going to be needing to use on Canva. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to choose a vertical image that I can also use for Pinterest. So when I'm looking for a template for my blog post graphic, what I want to look for is the actual layout here. So try not to choose a template based on the actual colors, because the colors are pretty easy to swap out once we start editing the template. So try to choose a template that you like the overall formatting of, and that's just gonna really cut down on your editing time for your blog post graphic. So what we can do here, I'm just gonna choose this one, and then we can go ahead and edit it. So here it is, and we can click on the different elements and kind of change the colors if we want to. I'm gonna actually keep that white, but I'm going to change out these colors to better match my own brand. And then, okay, so see, I added a dark color here, and now we can't actually read that font color. So I'm going to click on that and then change the font color here over to white. And I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger here, and then recenter, just moving this over. Okay, I like that a little bit better, so I'm gonna swap this out for my actual website. And then notice all of these other editing things up here. So we can actually swap out the actual font that we're using. So there's a whole list of fonts. If you already have your brand figured out, I would suggest keeping these blog post graphics branded to your brand. So if you already have like 1, 2, or 3 fonts that you use on your website, try to keep it cohesive and consistent. Same thing with colors. Okay, so just for this one, we're gonna keep the font like this. You can go ahead and decrease the font size, increase the font size this way. You can also drag it here if it's just easier for you to drag it to fit a space a little bit better. And then you can move it over. And I love these little center guides. They're like super helpful for editing this stuff. So I actually don't like all of this space in between the words. So I'm going to click spacing. And this is line spacing. I'm going to decrease it a little bit, move this down. And then this, the font's a little small for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and increase it. But I like when it stays on 2 lines, so I'm going to extend the spacing, move it over, and where's that snap in the middle? There we go. Another way to have everything kind of snap in the middle here is to click on one set of your content, click on another, well, hold down Shift on your keyboard, then click on another one, and that's gonna allow you to select 2 different areas, and then we can click Position, and then align center. Okay, so that's another way to go ahead and do that. And then I'm gonna switch out this background here. So a couple things you can do. You can upload images to Canva itself, or you can shoot over here to Elements, and you can search for something like, let's just look for money. And then we can click over here to Photos, and you can drag photos over to replace that background image. So if you're using the free version of Canva, you probably might not have as many options as I do. I have the pro version, so I have a lot more options when it comes to these images here. And then, I mean, obviously we have to go ahead and change this text depending on like whatever our blog post title is. So how to what you love. If your blog post doesn't have like 3 tips, or it's not like a list, you can just go ahead and delete this and then move this up a little bit. You can really customize this any way you want to, any way that kind of matches what your actual blog post is all about.
Do that, and you know what, let's actually make this full width here.
And then another thing that I like to do is play with this uppercase or like text transform tool here. So I can click on that, and it's going to make all of the text in there uppercase. You click on it again, it brings it back down to lowercase. So I'm going to make that uppercase. We're actually going to swap out this again. All right, cool. So yeah, I think that that's fine for this tutorial. So that is essentially how you would go ahead and customize a template here on Canva. The other thing that you can do if you're just like, I'm not sure if I love this one yet, you can add a new page, and you can come back over here to templates, and you can scroll here and choose another template that you want to play with. So you can go ahead and choose this one and kind of do the same thing. Elements, drag your images in there. I don't know why I chose money, but I think this is funny. And then drag your images. You can go ahead and do the same exact thing. Swap out your fonts, play with your sizes. You can change the colors of things. Yeah, just make sure that it kind of matches your brand and that everything is readable. So if you're changing the background to a dark color and the text is also a dark color, I would maybe just change the actual text color to something lighter so it's readable here. Okay, so that's another way that you can do it, is kind of like make different blog post graphics from different templates. Obviously, totally up to you. The other thing that you can do is create a blog post graphic from scratch. So this is an example of one of mine that I've created from scratch. And honestly, how I got these, it's just like I think I got it right here, in Elements, Shapes. I think I just chose one of those and kind of just popped it over here to the corner to create this actual visual representation here. And then I think I messed with the transparency of the background image. So you can go ahead and do that too. There's honestly like so many different ways to customize these blog post graphics, especially using Canva. Definitely take advantage of the upload area. If you have a logo, go ahead and put that on there, put your website on there. And I mean, obviously it also depends on what you're using these blog post graphics for. So after we feel good about the design of our blog post graphic, whether you chose to create a custom one or maybe you just customize a website template that was already created, we have to go ahead and export this graphic that we created. So hit share in the top right hand corner and then click download. And then you'll be able to select the pages. Like maybe you only decided that you like this first template, then just select that one. If you like all of them, then obviously you can click on all pages. But then you're going to want to choose the file type. Okay, so a lot of the times Canva will suggest exporting it as a PNG file instead of a JPEG. When I personally am exporting images for my website for either blog post featured image or for social sharing graphics, I export them as a JPEG. And the reason is because PNG files, they're just naturally bigger file sizes. It's best for, like it says here, complex images and illustrations. We don't really need that for this blog post graphic, okay? So I like to do JPEG because the file size is smaller so that it doesn't make the browser load as much, okay? So if you have a website or if you have a blog post that has a ton of PNG images on it, it's gonna be more work for the actual browser to load all of those images because the image files are bigger, okay? So just wanted to share that really quick tip there. You can, if you're doing a JPEG, you can mess around with the quality. I tend to be pretty good with 80% quality, which also makes the image size a little bit smaller for website loading purposes. If you end up downloading it, it might look a little grainy or pixelated. By all means, come back in here and bump this quality up to 90, bump it up to 100, take a look at it. You'll be able to find the sweet spot for your website, for your sharing images and things like that. But then you just go ahead and click download, and then your blog post graphic will download to your computer for you to upload wherever you have to upload it. So that's it for today's tutorial. If you guys found this video helpful, give me a really quick thumbs up. It really does a lot for the YouTube algorithm, and I just like seeing that these videos are helpful for you guys. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, and I will see you in the next video.